Hello dudes and dudettes, it's Sugi and today I'll be talking about my Kha'zix Season 4 jungle guide. Kha'zix has been on the bad side of Riot for some time, receiving a lot of nerfs. Well, granted he was pretty OP, but he's still viable. He just doesn't seem any light on the competitive play at the moment, but he's still viable. So what you do is you pick out Mad Cheat and 4 potions and a ward item at the start. Before in this video you actually see 5 potions, and this is because, well, the startup video was filmed in the previous patch, but this hasn't changed too much or drastically the Kha'zix jungle. And the ability you will be starting with is W, and W will clear the camp actually faster than Q, and because you don't have the isolation bonus on the first camp, it's pretty useless to pick out the Q. So you start out pretty much with W, and this will give you a nice self heal on the jungle also, and you will keep in, like, you will be in more health than most of the jungles in the game right now. And of course you should expect a pull from your comrades, and you know, you spam out the start with the W. You can actually save it a bit so you lose health and then you're able to heal the 40 around 40 health, yeah, and then you just kill the blue, you take out the little minions, and you should be a level 2. One thing that Kha'zix has is the isolation bonus, which increases his damage against like small camps. So the weak camp, which is a lone minion or a creep or jungle creep, whatever you want to call it, this will be a faster to clear with Kha'zix because he has the isolation. This also enables Kha'zix to really pretty much solo dragon really early on, because the isolation damage is pretty huge. It's not huge as it was, but it's still really effective. And then we're actually going to the Wraith camp after this, and you know, as always we start out with W if your health is not full. Usually it shouldn't. And Kha'zix is one of those jungles that may not have to use all the potions in the jungle. This is very depending on what masteries and runes you're of course running in the jungle. And after the right camp I usually go for red, and usually I ward the actual brush nearby in case I might get counter jungled. If I'm against Lee Sin or Elise, this will be most likely the case. And then I of course max out E, take out E when I get level 3, and then I actually go to the mid lane. This is the best way to actually go to, and then you can ward actually the brush and wait on the blind spot. So where I'm standing right now is actually a blind spot where minions can actually see, but because the actual one minion was on there, so the Vladimir pretty much saw I was coming. So here's one of my ganking attempts, and I'm here with 8 trying to come from the river and kill Aatrox. I managed to burn his flash away, but because Caravan's too far away, we can't actually execute. So what I do actually is I'm going to stick around the Tripus because it's not warded, and wait till Aatrox goes back to the lane, and I'm able to try to kill him again. And the moment I see him back, I start moving around from the back, but actually because the minion wave sees me, I did a bad timing, okay? I should have watched my own minion wave as a mirror. But after this, I come back again when he doesn't have an ultimate, he doesn't have the passive, and I pick up an easy kill with Garen. As for the abilities, you start out with W, like I said already, but you max out Q first because you want the best damage to isolation, and you want to just kill the targets when you gank and split push or whatever. So you put your first evolution point to your Q as always, because Q is still the highest damage you can pull off, and this is the most important damage source for Kha'zix. So you max out Q first, and you put your first evolution point to Q. The next evolution point goes to E, because you want the resets. Once you dive in, you can jump out, and you can jump out the next enemy, and you can do successful tower ganks, tower diving, or you can just jump back line and kill the AD carry and get the fuck out. That's great. But you don't max out E, you max out W before E though. And the last evolution points go to W, because W has been buffed and gives you vision over the target you have used W on. and it also has an extremely good slow right now, and of course it goes on angle spray, so it's a really, you can hit multiple targets, and this is great for adding black cleaver stacks. The reason I don't put a rank to the ultimate is because they removed the damage reduction, and even then I didn't like taking it. It just gives you additional stealth and gives the duration of stealth a bit higher. But I still think it's not really good because W and E give you more utility than the ultimate does. So I would never upgrade the ultimate unless you get the Rengar special quest and, you know, get the 4th point. But otherwise I would never upgrade the ultimate myself. As for the items, you start out with match sheets, and this will build the Spirit of the Elder Lizard. This is the best item for Kha'zix right now because the Ancient Golem got nerfed really hard and they took the tenacity out of it. And this forces you to build out Mercury Threads instead of Ninja Tabi. Some people take the cooldown reduction boots, but you never should do that because you need to build some sustain on the new jungle bit. And Mercury Threads are kind of needed for Kha'zix, in my opinion. And Spirit of the Elder Wizard is a really good item because it has the Incinerate passive, which deals true damage, and this applies from every physical damage. So your W will proc the actual, and your E will proc the true damage dot. While I do not like this item because it makes really tower diving a bit annoying, because when you have a dot on a champion, the turret will automatically aggro you. So this is a bit of an annoying feature which I do not like. But like I said, the Ancient Golem has been nerfed and this is the best item. After this, you go for Hydra, because Hydra is extremely good for wave clear, which Kha'zix doesn't really have until he puts an evolution point to the W. I like to split push quite much because Kha'zix is not the best like team fight champion. I mean it can work, but I like to split push once I get the lanes ahead, clear the waves really fast, and that's why Hydra is really good. Also, it's a really good, the best lifesteal item for the champion, of course. After this, you go to Last Whisper, which is obviously the better choice. After this, you should go GA and Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver is extremely good when you poke out with W and you get stacks to the enemy, multiple enemies on the team. And overall, these two are really core. I wouldn't build Yomus because Kha'zix doesn't need Critical Strike. It's not really part of his kit. Trinity Force is not that great, but if you want to go ultimate split pushing, then it's okay choice. Hex Drinker is also a viable option. And you know, heavy AD, and if they don't have a lot of CC, you can take Ninja Tabi over the Mercury Threads, but Mercury Threads are pretty much the standard right now. As for the runes, you take Attack Damage Threads, Armor Seals, either Lifesteal Quints or AD Quints or Armor Penetration Quints, and Magic Persistence per level, and Armor Seals. And you can check out the actual mastery page on my webpage on the description down below. There's like many options you can run, but pretty much you should be always on the offensive side of things. And hopefully this guide was insightful for you and you learned something about Kha'zix and its jungle. And see you guys later in the next guide.